So your team has a deliverable due tomorrow, they give it to you today, and it is not ready. It's not right, or it doesn't communicate the right message. What do? The surefire way to fix the problem is for you to step in and do it yourself. Fix the problem, and then send it out the door. That's how you know you can get it done with the time that you have available, right? Short time window, who can do it? I know I can. As a leader, I've done that myself. And almost every time, it comes back to bite me. Let me give you an example. Several years ago, I was responsible for a very small team of predominantly mechanical engineers, and we were designing this product, and we had to make sure that the product would fit once it was all assembled. Now, I had a couple of experienced engineers on my team that I believed knew how to handle this. They were far more experienced than I was. They've been in the industry longer. Surely they know how to do this kind of thing. I was a young leader, so forgive me for overlooking things. I handed them the template and I said, this is how we do it. Go run with it. Let me know what questions you have. For those experienced leaders in the audience, you won't be surprised what I got back. It was not anywhere close to what we needed to do. There were some good things in there, but man, it was way off the mark. And so now I've got a decision to make. Do I try to coach them on how to do this? Do I even know how to coach them on how to do this? Or am I just gonna dive in and do it myself? Well, I decided the timeline is pretty tight. I'm just gonna take care of it myself. So I dove right in and I did the work myself. I gave the deliverable to the customer. Customer's happy. Now, what do you think happened the next time? It's obvious, right? It's obvious. They did it the same way that they did it the first time because I let them believe that that was acceptable. That's kind of a glaring example. I didn't even address it with the team until after I had sent it to the customer. So, all of that's on me. But I bet you've made that mistake as well, or you've gotten pretty close to making that mistake. But I'll give you another example that's maybe not as obvious. So we had test reports that we had to deliver to this customer. A test report comes to my desk and it's due today. And I read through it and there are a couple of issues with that test report. Afterward, they got a copy of it and it's like, hey, here's the copy, here are the things that I changed. I believe that they understand what I'm looking for the next time around. But there is a difference between explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge. There's a difference between knowing something and having practiced something. A couple weeks later, here's the next test report. And those specific things are fixed, but there are variations on that theme in other areas in the document. So they fixed it in that specific case, but they didn't get the broader point. They didn't apply those lessons learned across the document. And that's my fault because I took the pain away from them. I took the pain of having to fix it away from them. Our desire as leaders to help our team, to do things for our team, comes from a good place. But the reality is that if we fix things for them, they don't learn how to fix things themselves. And if you've got somebody that you can't teach how to fix things for themselves, or somebody that isn't trying to learn how to fix things themselves, that is a problem with the person on your team, not your leadership style. I want you to think back to moments in your career where you experienced some sort of pain, some sort of painful presentation, some sort of hard lesson learned. As you think about that specific instance, do you believe your behavior has changed because of the pain? The answer is almost certainly yes. Now the question is, if somebody had taken that heat for you, would your behavior have changed? Would it have changed to the same degree? The answer is probably no, because if you don't feel the pain, you don't take ownership for fixing it. So the pain is useful. The friction is useful. I've talked about this before in dealing with difficult colleagues, difficult coworkers, people that you don't get along with. There's friction in those conversations, but that person is a sharpener. They're a whetstone, a stone that you use to sharpen your edge. That friction is a positive thing. It's the same thing here with your team. If you take that friction away, they don't feel the heat, they don't take responsibility for making improvements. So this is your opportunity. You still need your team to look good, so you don't want to send the deliverable on and then have it rejected and then have problems. You still want to address it in your team, but now it's a one-on-one conversation. Hey Joe, I've reviewed this report. It's really good. There are a couple things that I need your help with before I feel like this is ready to go to the customer. Now, on the first couple of pages, I've noticed these couple of things that I don't think will be well received by the customer. How do you think we might communicate that in a way that the customer will be more receptive to? So you get them engaged in solving the problem. You don't show them all of your markups. You get them engaged in the process and you say, okay, now that we've talked about that, could you go back through and review that document and prepare it in a way that you think will be ready to send to the customer? They send it back to you and you can continue this process until it's good enough. There are some things that you're just gonna have to let go because, come on, no one's gonna do everything exactly like you do it. But through that process, they start to learn what your expectations are. They start to learn how you see things and they'll adapt their approach over time to those needs. Now, if you've got a tight timeline for that deliverable, I understand there are circumstances where it's not going to be feasible to do that whole loop. But if you find yourself rescuing your team on a regular basis, or a particular individual on a regular basis, if they're getting that deliverable to you just in time, and you've got to fix it because there's definitely not enough time to coach them, something needs to change. Either you need to push back on the timeline because it's too aggressive and your team can't meet it, or maybe you intentionally miss a couple of dates because you're focused on making sure you have the right quality. When was the last time that your boss told you, no, ship it at a lower quality? They might push you to try to get it done faster, but if you say that I can't get this out on time because it's not the right level of quality, you're probably gonna get a little bit of grace. Your team's gonna feel a little heat. You're gonna tell them, hey, I broke the bad news, but it's bad news and we gotta fix it. I need you to get this done. Again, if you take the pain away from your team entirely, they won't learn and they won't get better. And you'll be stuck at a lower level. You'll be stuck doing tasks that are automatic for you, not figuring out ways that you can grow and level up over time. Well, I hope that was useful. Thank you for watching as always. See you guys in the next one.